What would you do if the only family you had left locked you out in the rain, as your mother's life slipped away, and the truth about your own identity shattered everything you thought you knew? My name is Lila, or at least, that's what I thought it was until that night. The rain was relentless, pounding against the cracked pavement of the hospital parking lot as I stood outside the locked glass doors, my fists banging uselessly against them. My sister, Clara, stared at me from inside, her eyes cold as the steel frame of the door she refused to open. "You don't belong here," she hissed through the glass, her voice sharp enough to cut through the storm. Mom was dying inside, and I was left out in the cold literally and figuratively. We'd never been close, Clara and I. Growing up, she was the golden child, the one who could do no wrong in Mom's eyes. I was the stray, the one who came home with bruises from fights at school, the one who never quite fit into the family portrait. Mom loved me, I knew that, but it was always a quieter love, overshadowed by Clara's perfection. Still, I never imagined Clara could be so cruel. That night, as Mom lay in the ICU, her lungs failing after years of battling cancer, Clara made her choice. She locked the door and turned away, leaving me to scream into the rain. I don't know how long I stood there, soaked to the bone, my voice hoarse from shouting. A security guard eventually took pity on me, letting me into the lobby but not the ward. "Family only," he said, his eyes apologetic but firm. I wanted to scream that I was family, that Mom needed me, but the words caught in my throat. Instead, I slumped into a plastic chair, dripping water onto the sterile floor, wondering what I'd done to deserve this. Hours passed, or maybe it was minutes time blurred in that fluorescent haze. Then the cops arrived. 2 officers, one with a weathered face and a notepad, the other younger, with eyes that seemed too kind for the job. They asked for me by name, Lila Harper. My heart sank. Were they here about the fight I'd gotten into last week? Or something worse? But when they sat me down in a quiet corner of the hospital, their words turned my world upside down. "You're not Lila Harper," the older officer said, his voice steady but not unkind. "Your real name is Emily Carter. You were taken from your biological family 22 years ago." The room spun. I gripped the chair, my nails digging into the plastic. They explained that my parents, the people I'd called Mom and Dad, had adopted me under suspicious circumstances. A missing child case from a small town upstate had been reopened recently, and new evidence pointed to me. My fingerprints, taken after that stupid fight, had matched a decades-old record. Clara knew. That's why she locked me out. She'd found the adoption papers years ago, hidden in Mom's desk, and pieced together the truth. To her, I was an intruder, a thief who'd stolen her mother's love. She'd waited for this moment, for Mom's final days, to cast me out. The betrayal stung worse than the rain. But the cops weren't done. They handed me a letter, sealed but worn, addressed to Emily Carter. It was from my biological mother, written years ago, begging for forgiveness. She'd been young, scared, and coerced into giving me up. She'd never stopped looking for me. I didn't read it right away. I couldn't. Mom, the woman who raised me, was gone by then. The doctors told me she'd passed just after midnight, with Clara at her side. I wasn't there to say goodbye. The grief was a tidal wave, pulling me under, but so was the anger. Clara had robbed me of that moment. And for what? To protect a truth that wasn't hers to keep? Days later, I stood at Mom's grave, the letter still unopened in my pocket. I didn't know who I was anymore, Lila or Emily, daughter or stranger. But as I traced the letters of Mom's name on the headstone, I realized something. She'd loved me, even if imperfectly, even if I wasn't hers by blood. That love was real, and Clara couldn't take it away. I tore open the letter, my hands trembling. My biological mother's words spilled out her regrets, her hopes, her promise to wait for me. I didn't owe her anything, not yet, but I owed myself the chance to understand. I tracked Clara down a week later. She didn't expect me to show up at her pristine apartment, her face paling as I stepped inside. I didn't yell or fight. Instead, I told her about the letter, about Emily Carter, about the life I'd been stolen from. Her eyes filled with tears, but I didn't care. "You locked me out," I said, my voice steady. "But you don't get to decide who I am." I left her there, silent and small, and walked into the sunlight. The truth didn't fix everything. It didn't bring Mom back or erase the years of feeling like an outsider. But it gave me something Clara never could, a choice. I could be Lila, Emily, or someone new entirely. And for the first time, I felt free to decide.